All right, greetings, YouTube. Beautiful mind here. This question comes from College Algebra. Okay, comes from our text, section 1.4, question 75 from the back of that section. This question says to solve the following equation for t, assume no denominators are zero. Okay. Uh-oh, my pen is low. Give me just a moment. So it's something like this. What we're gonna do. So I still have not figured out quite the best way to articulate this for the students. The best way that I see it, they're asking us to solve for t, so you kind of have to treat it as if all the other letters are actually numbers. Whatever you would do if those were numbers, you do the same thing, but then, just leave t as the x. So you could almost write an equivalent equation where, replace all the other letters or all the other variables with numbers and then solve it that way. But that's how you would go about it. So you just have to you have to use your imagination and imagine that the other letters are numbers. That's about the best way I can articulate something of this nature. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna rewrite the original. We have r equals r naught plus 1/7 a t squared, right? So I'm imagining all the other letters are numbers. I'm gonna do the same operation, but you don't crunch anything because you don't know the number, right? And I'm gonna imagine that the t is x, right? So if I was gonna solve for t, I want to start by moving things away from the t. So I'm gonna start by moving this guy first, right? Whatever the answer is, we just leave it. You don't really combine terms or anything like that. Not here. So then we say r minus r naught equals, and then what's left on the right, 1/7 a t squared, right? So now at this point, there's a couple of ways to go about it. What I'm going to do is the following. So if we have this number 1/7, and we're trying to move that to the other side, we can either divide by a seventh or multiply both sides by 7, right? Those are the same thing. So I'm going to say the right by 7. I'm also going to say the left by 7. So dividing by 1/7 is the same as multiplying by 7, right? So when we multiply the right, these two cancel each other out. On the left, we have to distribute. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, let's do this. So then on the left, we get 7r minus 7r naught equals a t squared, right? We're still moving the other variable away from the t, so we're going to say divide by a and divide by a. Okay, and we can kind of adjust the form as needed. On the right hand side, they cancel each other, so this cancels that. We can leave that kind of the way you see it. Yeah, I'll adjust the form to match the answer. But this all really means the same thing. T squared. One final step. So if we're trying to isolate the t, we square root both sides, and whenever we do square root, we do plus or minus. So those are going to cancel. We're going to square root here, and we're going to be sure to include the plus or minus. So then the final result ends up being t equals, we have this 7r minus 7r naught divided by a. We have the square root of that, and it's plus or minus. And then from here, we would just work a few examples to just make sure that to get the form to match the text. There's several ways that we can write this properly. I'm going to quickly glance at the solution. 7a. Okay, so they left it factored. Let me see. 7a. Wait a minute. Did I miss something? Subtract a. So we could do a over 7. So multiply both sides by 7 over a. So to kind of go ahead and get it to match the way the text does it, I'm going to factor out that 7. So then it should be plus or minus. We have 7 times r minus r naught divided by a square root. But it looks like something's a little different. So I'm going to look at something one more time. R minus r naught over a. Looks like there's an extra a in there. Subtract, multiply. Yeah, their answer, it looks like it has an extra a. So I will take a look at it. I'm going to look and see what you're submitting and what they're saying the answers. I'm going to do another example. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and pull it up now. So I'm going to go to view an example. I'm just going to do one more just to make sure. Actually, we can look at this together. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to hit continue a few times, blah, blah, blah. So we will subtract the r first. Let me see. Okay, you can multiply both sides by 17. That's fine. And then they went on it. Why did they do it that way? If we multiply everything by 17, that should be a 17r. That's fine. If we divide everything by a, that's fine. You subtract that. Okay, that's fine. And then plus or minus square root. Yeah, this looks like it matches what I have. So what's on the other one? Wait a minute. Oh, they rationalize. Oh, okay. I see where it is. I see where I'm making my mistake. Okay. So the way I have the answer, I left, let me show you this. So I can see where the trouble is coming. So this is actually the same as plus or minus. We got this square root. We got a 7 r minus r naught divided by the square root of a. So we typically don't leave radicals in the denominator, so we do need to rationalize. So we multiply the top and the bottom by root a. So we're multiplying by 1 in the form so that we no longer have the square root in the denominator. So then we will finish with plus or minus the square root 7a r minus r naught all over a. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, I think this is the same thing that they got. Okay, I found where we were having our Discord. Let me check again really quickly. Yeah, it looks good. My nose is irritating me. Okay, so with that, we will end this session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day.